Hey there and welcome. So let's talk about turning those anonymous people browsing your website into actual real contacts you can talk to. We're going to break down exactly how HelloCRM's live chat does just that automatically. Let's get right into it. You know the feeling, right? A visitor lands on your site, they have a question, but your chat tool, it's like it's on a completely separate island. Your team ends up scrambling, trying to copy and paste details, or even worse, that potential lead just gets lost in the shuffle. And that, right there, is just a massive missed opportunity. You know, the old way was all about manual work. You're entering data by hand, the context from one chat to the next gets totally lost, and honestly, it's a pretty clunky experience for everyone. But with an integrated tool like HelloCRM's live chat, the whole thing is automatic. A new chat instantly creates a contact, and the entire conversation history is logged from day one right where you need it. So how do you even get started? Well, it all begins with setting up your chat widget. Let's dive in and walk through how easy it is to get this thing configured. Okay, first things first, you want the chat to feel like it's actually part of your brand, not just some random tool you've tacked on. Right inside your HelloCRM settings, you can personalize pretty much everything: the look, the feel, the display name, the picture, and all the welcome messages it uses. And the setup itself is super straightforward. It's really just 3 simple steps. First, you'll set a nice, friendly welcome message. Then you can tweak the branding and colors so it matches your site perfectly. And finally, and this is really helpful, you can add suggested starter questions to kind of help guide the conversation right from the get-go. And the last piece of the puzzle? It's ridiculously easy. Once you've got your widget looking just right, HelloCRM gives you this little snippet of code. You just copy it and paste it onto your website. That's it. Seriously, no complex coding needed. Your beautiful, branded chat widget is now live and ready to go. Okay, so we've set it up. Now let's flip the script. Let's look at this from the other side of the screen. What does your visitor actually see when they want to ask a question? So when a visitor clicks on that little chat icon, they're greeted with this really simple, clean form. They can pop in their name and email and type out their first message. There are no hoops to jump through. And this right here, this is that critical moment where just an anonymous click on your website becomes a real, tangible lead for your business. Okay, the visitor just hit send. Now, this is where the magic really happens. Let's jump back into the HelloCRM platform to see what's going on behind the scenes. This is where having everything in one place changes the whole game. Literally, the second they send that first message, HelloCRM just springs into action. It automatically creates a brand new contact record with the name and email they gave you. It can even go a step further and find their company information. And most importantly, it logs that very first message, starting a complete conversation history from the jump. And that new chat, it doesn't get lost in some separate app. Nope, it lands directly in your team's unified inbox, sitting right alongside all your emails, texts, and other customer messages. That means your team can see it and respond right away without having to switch between a million different tabs. And look, this isn't just about a one-and-done chat. We're playing the long game here. Every single message, back and forth, gets permanently logged on that contact's activity timeline. This creates this incredibly rich historical record that anyone on your team can check, so they always have the full story for any future conversation. All right, so you get the mechanics, right? It's simple. But now let's talk about how to get really smart with it. Here's a little pro tip to take your live chat game to the next level and get even better results. I really want you to think about this for a second. The power here goes way beyond just being a place for questions. You should be treating this widget like a strategic tool, a way to qualify and route your visitors from their very first click. So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, you can use your welcome message and those suggested starter questions to steer visitors. You can prompt them towards a sales question or a support question. These little actions can then automatically kick off workflows, assign the chat to the right person, or even hand it off to an AI agent to handle the initial questions before a human ever steps in. And really, that's the big takeaway here. With HelloCRM's live chat, you're not just answering questions. You are systematically turning that anonymous website traffic into tracked, enriched, and engaged contacts, building a complete history from their very first hello. So, now you're pulling in all these great conversations. But how do you know what's actually working? How do you measure the impact? Well, in the next explainer, we're going to dive deep into HelloCRM reporting and message analytics so you can see exactly how your outreach is performing. I'll see you there.